Alright, welcome back to Super Sentai Review, episode number 474. We are here reviewing episodes 7 to 12 of Boonboomger. So, in the case, basically, episodes 7 through 9, these are pretty much building up to the end of Mad Rex, the first general in the series. Yep, so, by the way, we do have one monster who appears in these 3 episodes. Yes, only one, because after 7, we won't see another monster again until episode 10, because basically we have to do with one guy. Basically, they wanted to dry out Bun Red. So, create a wall monster. Yep, a frickin' wall monster. Oh, walls here, walls there, I'm like, okay, interesting. Yeah. And that's the gist of him. He's basically there to create walls. He is defeated after a pretty good period of time. But episode 7 is noteworthy for, well, not only basically built the end of Mad Rex, but also basically when Gamba Bakari, the supplier of the group, becomes basically the 5th Boonboomger. Yep. Yeah, he was like, here's your changer. You can basically put on when you're ready. And later on he does, becomes Bun Orange. And basically this is his thing from going forward. Yeah, his tire is kind of like a barrel machine gun. Actually more like a turret gun, that's what it looks like. So, then he pretty much battles the monster, beats it, and then pretty much we basically had the very next episode where no new monster. It's basically Mad Rex basically battling Bun Red because he really wants to beat him because he basically he draws him out. They get the gasoline they wanted. Though that's some of the gasoline Mad Rex takes in himself. They go giant size. They try battling him, and they do not do too good. They try police, doesn't work. They try builder, doesn't work. The regular Robo. And this is like smashing, and of course, basically, Toya basically is being very reckless. He really wants him so badly, but then they have to flee because basically it's the right thing to do. And then, where basically it's revealed that Toya had a dream later early on in the series, which actually was Bonderis' dream, yes, which was participating in this big race known as the Big Bang Grand Prix. Yep. In these episodes in particular, is the first time that it's ever brought up in the series. It is first mentioned episode 8 about this thing. And yeah, it says, oh yeah, it's his dream. It's actually Bonderis' dream. So then the very next episode, because of the fact that because apparently Toy was monopolizing Boonboomger for his own desire, ISA orders the Boonboomger to disband and hand over the equipment over to the ISA. They're like, we don't work for you, which is definitely true. They cooperate with them, yes, but they're not part of their organization. So basically, Toya basically tells them, yeah, we're not handing everything over, though he is injured. And basically, he tries his best to battle, well, Mad Rex, who once again heads to a giant by squeezing Yamakar. Yep. And then they debut a brand new mech. By the way, before they wrecked, there was like a clone car, which that it was a prototype but wasn't fully tested. And of course, Toy's like test completed. Though of course, 9 debuts a brand new mech formation known as Boonboomger Robo Knight. Yep. And they use this form to destroy Mad Rex. Oh, and also 9 is the conclusion of the first arc of Boonboomger. Now 10 does not basically, now we do debut basically a variant of the main mech, of course. And it's all about Gamma basically doing like a delivery, and Maria basically helps out. And it turns out what's contained in this box is actually, it's some explosive. No, it's actually just Moochie. Yeah, the actual was delivered by the actual Boonboomgers. And it would just basically just deploy to fool the bad guys. But we do get new variants of the mech known as the Builder Wagon Custom. And then episode 11, we debut 2 brand spanking new characters, where you have Toya visiting a friend of his, who turns to be his mentor, Rita Nadio, who is the head of Lightning Tech, and is also Toya's mentor. All about making deliveries, and because he had this info, agencies wanted hands on it, so he has Toya to deliver it, and they've been involved with delivery since then. He also was tasked by him to deliver this Bun Red plushie to this sick kid. And of course, also we debut another brand new character here, who will become a character fixture for the next dozen episodes. Modification Captain Cannonberg. Yep. Or basically, he is kind of their new general, and he has a little bit longer tenure than, of course, Mad Rex. Mad Rex showed up on Earth in episode 6, got destroyed in episode 9. So, aside from these two things here, and of course, the monster of this episode is, if you're really curious, what is the monster of episode 11? Because it's a satellite dish. Yep, a satellite dish monster. Yep, that's literally what this monster is. He doesn't get power up in the episode, which was surprising. Yeah, they do beat him. At one point, they had it was a good testing exercise for teamwork for the 5 people. Then 12. Oh boy, I was so happy to watch this episode. Because, of course, we start off with, we have Toy finished delivery, and then he hears something, looks in the grass, like, he picks something up, like, oh crap, it's Speeder from Boonboomger. Yep. Speeder. And he's stuck in his, in this particular form of his. Now, if you're really curious, this is Speeder's first, he did kind of appear in Save vs. Encounter superhero Seki movie, but first appearance in proper Sentai that's not a proper crossover since the 10th anniversary film. Yeah, so basically they find Snowskate. Yep. Which, for Snowskate, this is actually his first appearance since the Super Sentai Battle miniseries, where he appeared in the first episode. Super Sentai Strongest Battle, basically because he kind of appeared in movies prior to this, but the actor probably first time since then. And he's back here for this episode, and this episode is his most recent appearance to date. Yeah, and here he has dyed his hair red. Yep. Yeah, and it's spiked up again. I have read the reason why the actor did this for his character is because of Dragon Ball Super. That was simply the reason for it. Because the guy's big is a big DBZ fan, so basically spikes here like that. And basically he meets up, finds his kid, has basically June keep an eye on him. Then he basically looks for his mom, which he does pretty quickly thanks to his coin flip. First time he's done that in a while. I mean, I don't know if he did it in the Weekly Bug, because I haven't seen it yet, but I do remember him doing this in the 10th anniversary movie. Which begs the question. Now, he arrived here, but he was hit by something, turns out to be your model captain. Here's a question. When did he go back to Machine World? That's a good question because I thought he hang on Earth with the team in the 10th anniversary movie, which they don't really explain what the heck the team is up to. It would be nice to have a reunion episode featuring the entire team, but apparently maybe Snowsuke was unavailable. That's possible. And the Monsters episode about creating these special sandals that the Japanese use, and well, basically they of course they mentioned. But I love the fact they show footage of Go Onju, which I thought that was so cool. And it's all Speeder basically showed us off here, so they don't know that this red hair guy is Sanosuke. I'm like, you would think like the viewers know it's him. Well, people who watch Go Onju know who this is. But if it's a new viewer, you're like, who the heck is this guy? Oh, this is Sanosuke. Go on Red. Who still wearing his tracksuit. His suit that he wore during the series, which is a nice fact he put that back on again. Which, of course, he did wear this in the 10th anniversary movie. And I saw an image, he did wear this for Super Sentai Battle, but yeah, and of course, oh yeah, you're stuck in engine cast form, so he fixes it, no problem. And of course, they defeat the monster, and then of course you have Speeder racing the speed track, which I thought this was so cool. Knocks him off, and then you have where, yeah, basically Boom on Night. And then Snowsuke calls reinforcements. Basically, he brings in Bear V, Speeder's wife. Yes, his wife. And, I think it was Bus. I think it was, Bus on. Yeah. They brought him in here, which, and then of course they form Engine O, which I thought that was really cool. And then they beat the monster. Heck, even during the fighting, they threw in the theme song from Go Onju, which cool the fact they did it. I love it whenever they did these little tributes and they throw in the theme song from the actual show itself into their next appearance. And then it turns out the reason why they actually came to Earth. Apparently, Speeder and Bear V's son, Mecha Falcon, the one who debuted in Gokaiger, is getting married. And the whole team has been divided. All the Go Onjers. Which begs the question, where the heck were they during this? And then he goes to the Machine World, he calls basically like Bun Red, Boom Boom Red, which I thought that was kind of funny. And calls him Rookie Onjer. Basically, it's just rookie team, which they apparently don't mind him calling that. And of course, Toya calls him Senpai. Yeah, it's always really cool. Now, the thing is, if you're really curious, how long ago... Now, the thing is, this episode aired This aired just last year. Yes, last year. And Go Onju aired in 2008. If you're really curious, since the end of Go Onju, by the time this episode aired, which, if you're really curious, it had been 15 years since the end of the show. Yes, 15 years. If you're really curious, like, when was the last time Snowsuke appeared on TV? Well, he did appear in the first episode, Weekly Battle, which came out in 2019. So it's been like about 5 years for him. Yeah. And before that, he was appearing in the 10th anniversary film, which came out a year prior. Yeah, and I gotta admit, basically bringing it back here made sense, given the fact the team itself is so similar to Go Onju, except that they don't have the over-the-top comedy that they did with that one. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, it's serious, they do a bit of comedy, but it's not over the top with it. And I do appreciate, though, he does not disrespect the team, he doesn't disrespect Bun Red. Unlike what happened when he had the two previous Ninja Rangers pop up in Ninjanger, where they were disrespectful to the Red Ranger because That's all. That's when I saw that someone thought that, oh, maybe that the Red Ninjanger insulted his ninja senpai. No, they disrespected him by holding him back and tying him up. This one is basically, well, this team made perfect sense to do. Oh yeah, definitely. There is, however, going to be two more that feature sort of like, one is definitely another vehicle-based Sentai, which is the main reason why I really want to do this one. The other one, I was kind of surprised he popped up here, but I'll talk about that later on. But if you're curious, do you know there's actually two vehicle-based Sentai that where the actors do not return for this for some reason? And you're like, why wouldn't they? If you're curious, like, who did not return for this? No from Turbo Ranger ever did. You would have thought this would have been perfect for the return because they're vehicle-based Sentai, but the only one I could think is maybe Car Ranger. I would think that basically this would have been perfect for them to make a return. Well, most of them anyways, because I think at the time when this came out, the actress who played the Yellow Car Ranger was going through cancer at this period of time. So for her, it would have been impossible. They probably have a double for her, but it probably would be nice to have basically Red Racer show up here. That would have been cool. But Boonboomger here makes total sense, given the fact the team is kind of similar to them in a way. Well, let's see. The Red Ranger is very similar to Sosuke, except he's not like as reckless as Sosuke is. But he is a Red Ranger. Well, he can be. He was a bit reckless like once, but not all the time like Sosuke was. Yeah, and plus I even love that they used the same special effects they used from Boonboomger with him riding the sword. I thought that was really cool. Like a lot of the stuff here, it's like the writer of this episode had a lot of respect for Boonboomger. For one thing, I'm sure this guy probably watched Boonboomger. Well, good thing he did, because this was one of the writers from Boonboomger. He would, however, come back 2 more times after this as a writer. He wrote 2 more episodes, and that's it. But at least they brought a guy who actually wrote the series. I'm sure he's like, hey, I'm going to do an episode Boonboomger. Like, people like Boonboomger. I'll bring back Sosuke. I'm sure the actor's like, sure, no problem. I love playing Sosuke. And I heard, and as of currently, he is one of 2 that I've heard of who is a Sentai actor who has a YouTube channel. Yeah, he has a YouTube channel, believe it or not. They're like, huh, that's interesting. Well, he does. He occasionally has his, the guy who played the Blue Ranger on that one, he occasionally makes appearances on his channel. Yep. But yeah, that's pretty much the particular video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. I gotta get going because I'm gonna go see Demon Slayer Infinite Castle. Okay? Next video.